Imagine looking at a map of our world today and feeling a sense of absolute certainty that every corner has been catalogued. We have mapped the DNA of viruses and the surface of Mars, yet our own planet remains a place of profound, unsettling shadows. What if the most staggering discoveries in the history of science aren't waiting in distant galaxies, but are hidden right under our noses? For decades, the James Webb Space Telescope has looked outward to find our origins, but it has accidentally started a fire back on Earth. By looking at the first light of the universe, we have stumbled upon structures that theoretically should not exist in our current timeline. These universe breakers are massive galaxies found in the deep past, appearing far too mature and complex for their incredibly young age. This discovery has sent a shockwave through the scientific community, forcing us to ask if our story of the beginning is actually wrong. The Big Bang Theory suggests that the universe began as a point of infinite density, an elegant balance of all potential and nothingness. In an instant, this singularity expanded, growing from the size of a subatomic particle to a golf ball in a mere fraction of time. For hundreds of millions of years, the universe was a hot, soup-like fog of particles where light simply could not travel or escape. Conventional models tell us that gravity needed vast eons to pull primordial gas together into the very first stars and organized structures. We expected the early universe to be a messy, chaotic nursery of small, irregular clumps of matter rather than finished, grand cosmic cities. Yet, the James Webb Space Telescope has pulled back the curtain to reveal 6 massive galaxies existing only 500 million years after dawn. These galaxies are not small or struggling. They are as heavy and star-rich as our own Milky Way is today, billions of years later. One specific galaxy found by researchers at the University of Minnesota is 100 times smaller in volume but packed with billion-year-old density. To find such monsters so early is like walking into a kindergarten and finding a group of toddlers who are already retired professors. This isn't just a minor statistical error, it is a fundamental challenge to the laws of physics as we have written them down. If these galaxies had enough time to grow this large, then the clock of the universe might be ticking much slower than imagined. It suggests that the dark ages of the universe, the time before light, might have been much shorter or far more productive than suspected. We are now facing a choice. Either our measurements of distance are flawed, or the universe is much older than 13.8 billion years. But the mystery deepens even further as we descend into the shadows of the most terrifying objects in existence. Alongside these impossible galaxies, the James Webb Telescope has detected what appears to be the oldest black hole ever known. This gravitational monster was found lurking just 570 million years after the Big Bang, defying all previous cosmic speed limits. To understand why this is a problem, we have to look at how a black hole is actually born. Usually, a massive star must live its entire life, exhaust its nuclear fuel, and collapse under its own weight to create one. After that, it takes billions of years of eating surrounding gas and merging with other black holes to become a supermassive giant. Yet, this ancient specimen is already a heavyweight, suggesting it somehow skipped the slow process of traditional cosmic growth. Some astronomers propose that the first stars were short-lived giants, burning bright and dying fast to seed the early universe. But even with fast-track stars, the math doesn't add up. There simply wasn't enough time for such a massive heart to beat. This leads us to a radical idea. What if these black holes didn't come from stars at all, but from the Big Bang itself? These primordial black holes would mean the universe was born with its seeds of destruction already planted in the fabric of space. Take the galaxy CEES 1019, for example, which was first spotted as a faint smudge by the aging Hubble telescope. Under the powerful infrared gaze of Webb, this smudge transformed into a complex system housing an active, hungry black hole. In this era, the universe was supposed to be filled with a thick fog of neutral hydrogen that blocked all light. Only after the first stars reionized, this gas could light travel freely, a period we call the epoch of reionization. However, CEES 1019 shows both star formation and black hole activity happening simultaneously in a way that shouldn't be possible yet. It's like finding a fully functioning city in the middle of a construction site before the foundation has even been poured. Other giants, like J1000 342 plus 0928, contain black holes with a mass of 800 million suns only 690 million years after the start. Another, J0313-1806, is a staggering 1.6 trillion times more massive than our Sun, appearing almost at the dawn of time. These findings aren't just anomalies, they are cracks in the very foundation of how we believe the universe organized itself. These discoveries leave us with a burning question. Is the Big Bang Theory actually dead or just incomplete? For nearly a century, our understanding of the universe has been built on the solid bedrock of expansion and cosmic background radiation. Most cosmologists aren't ready to throw away 100 years of work, but they are certainly reaching for their red pens. One possibility is that the early universe was much more efficient at creating matter than our computer simulations ever predicted. Perhaps the cooling process happened in the blink of an eye, allowing stars and black holes to condense like frost on a window. Another theory suggests that we have simply miscalculated the age of the universe, and it could be 20 or 25 billion years old. If the universe is older, the impossible galaxies suddenly have all the time they need to grow, mature, and thrive. But changing the age of the universe isn't easy. It would require changing the fundamental constants of physics that govern everything. This confusion is actually a sign of progress. It means we are finally asking the right questions about our mysterious home. Science is not a finished book of facts, but a living process of being proven wrong by better and better tools. For a student graduating today, it might feel frustrating to hear that the textbooks are being rewritten as they walk across the stage. Yet, there is something deeply poetic about living in the era when the most ancient secrets of the light are finally speaking. Every time we build a better eye to look into the dark, the universe reveals itself to be stranger than we could imagine. We are currently in the middle of a cosmic revolution, a moment where the old guard meets the impossible new reality. The James Webb Space Telescope was designed to find the first light, but it ended up finding a much bigger story. It reminds us that no matter how much we map, there will always be a horizon that we cannot yet see beyond. We are small, curious creatures living on a tiny blue speck, trying to decipher the manual of a machine we didn't build. Our journey to understand the beginning is far from over. In fact, we might just be reaching the end of the first chapter. As we reconcile these universe breakers with our theories, we may find a reality that is grander and older than our wildest dreams. So, as we look up at the night sky, we must ask ourselves, what other impossible things are waiting to be found?